Hey y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it. I hope everyone's having a joyous Saturday morning. It is cold as hell down here in Atlanta. These motherfuckers crazy. I don't believe in climate change, but I think God trying to tell people something. You know, the Most High. But anyway, yes, you see the thumbnail over here in New Black Media. We talk a lot about wake up calls. Wake up calls are very special because wake up calls entails that you've grifted long enough, excuse me, or you tried to do something and say things that you never thought you would get caught being held accountable. And now all of a sudden that phone is ringing and you're so scared to pick it up that you don't want to pick it up. But we're going to pick it up for you. This is going to be a fun one, family. This is going to be a fun one. But before we do that, I want to give y'all a little appetizer because, you know, I'm a chef. We're going to give y'all a little appetizer. We're going to talk about somebody else for a second. I was going to do an upload on this, but I do an upload on this. Now, I wish I was home Tuesday so I could stream the third debate, but I'll probably do it Wednesday morning. If nobody else does the coverage, I will do it Wednesday morning. I will have it loaded up when I get in the house, or we'll do it late. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. It's birthday month. But peace to the chat. Torian, hello. You said this woman's been getting so many wake-up calls that it's becoming routine at this point. Yes. But I think those are more text messages. She hasn't gotten the phone call yet. The phone call was, well, the first one was YouTube. They sent a voicemail at her. They said, listen, you're going to have to sit down for a little bit. You ain't going to make no money off our platform. The real phone call is going to be November 5th, 2024. And Black Manta, hello. So, like I said, we're going to start with a little bit of an appetizer for y'all. We warned them. Your man is not a great candidate. They're really trying to resurrect this man. It ain't gonna work.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
It ain't gonna work. What does this say, family? I hate these ads on this, but it's okay. Vivek, softer than Japanese cake. Ramaswamy's image as the new shiny object grows dull. We told them this. All them trolls 2 months ago. We told them, well, 3 months ago now, right? 4 months ago, whatever, 4 months ago, whenever he went to go see the Breakfast Club, we told them the bloom on this cactus was gonna suck. They said he was the greatest. They said this man was going to revolutionize the Republican Party. We're afraid of Vivek because he's brown. That was my favorite response out of everything I heard. Y'all don't like Vivek because he's brown. No, he's anti-black. That's why we don't like him. And of course, it's come out that he's anti-black, but you know, the media is covering for him. But now Kathy Barnett just done went and blew it all up. She had white people and black people getting at her neck, but that's okay. Torian, I love you to death, but it was not dead on arrival. You know why it wasn't dead on arrival? Because he had a lot of white support. It was not dead on arrival. You know whose campaign was dead on arrival? Tim Scott. Tim Scott, let me talk to you for a second. You might as well just be a lifelong yes. South Carolina is safe. Because if you get a job in a possible Trump administration, South Carolina is in trouble because you know them Democrats are going to run and try to put somebody in his seat. Can't have that. But there you go. They said his campaign was going to be revolutionary. Yeah, for all the wrong reasons. But let's see what this article says. Shout out to Kathy Barnett. She's representing her candidate well. This was 2 days ago. Why aren't you higher in the polls? One New Hampshire voter asked Ramaswamy at a town hall. Now, I was going to play this today, but when I said, you know what, Candace Owens and Dave Rubin might be a little bit more entertaining. So Windham, New Hampshire, on the first Wednesday in November, Vivek Ramaswamy was holding a town hall. He'd started the morning shaking hands at the Red Arrow Diner, a classic campaign stop, and had already debated a Democratic congressman before lunchtime. Okay, family, who at this point thinks that he's just propping these people up and he might be just calling these motherfuckers to come over and mess with him? Because every time you do a stop now, you're getting into a debate. Wait a minute. I thought the rules of the RNC were you're not allowed to debate unless it was sanctioned. Unless that doesn't work for the third time. But I know the second time around, you're not allowed to debate anybody. Unless Rana and her cohorts approve it. So we figured out he's a scammer, a liar, a racist, and now he's a rule breaker. All right. Huh. I see why he said America First 2.0, but okay. Ooh, we got more people in there. I'm sorry. Vincent Taylor, good morning. Antithesis, good morning. Tatum Man, good morning. Carl Lockhart, one half of the Troubleman twins in the building. All right. Let's go back to this article. Now he was at a chapel in Windham where he'd taken questions from voters on everything from transgender issues to foreign war for the better part of an hour. The last person to ask Ramaswamy a question praised him, but said he had a sobering point to address. Why aren't you higher in the polls? Well, remember, sir, or ma'am, remember, he was polling at like 14% before the second debate. And we told him, and we told everybody in the world, the rose on that cactus was going to bloom and you're not going to like it. And what happened? I said it was going to take 60 days. It took 45. Everything came out. He was getting attacked left and right with the truth, including signs falling on his head, which was hilarious. And people saw what I said during the Breakfast Club live stream I did. He's just trying to be a brown-faced Trump. And there's one thing white supremacists don't like is when you try to imitate their favorite people. But okay, you don't want to listen to me? Cool. We'll just let it play out, and then it's played out. Continuing. Ramaswamy has spent more time and held more events in the early nominating states of Iowa and New Hampshire than any other candidate in the race. He's poured millions of his own dollars into his campaign and has appeared on countless podcasts and TV shows to get his message across. Right. But there's one podcast /show /broadcast he's not done. I'm going to be self-serving for a minute.
You bring him here. Right here. Do you hear me? Right here.
What?
You heard what I said. Just do it.
Kathy, bring him here. Come on. I want to be known for ending a presidential campaign. Bring him here. All them softball ass interviews he doing with like Cartier family and Tatum Tots. Man, come over here. Let me tell you something. He ain't finna overtalk me because guess what? We got the button. We remove him. And we were like, listen, you better calm down. Fuck you think you talking to? We don't be sitting here smiling. We ask the pertinent questions. Fuck. Still, the 38-year-old businessman and first-time politician has stalled in early state polls in the months since his breakout debate performance in August. Breakout debate performance in August. Family, you were there with me. What was What did he do that made him a breakout? Wasn't that the same debate where Chris Christie called him Chat GPT and he said, "Give me a hug"? That was the breakout because he had people in the crowd cheering for him. He had nothing to lose that night, but he came out of it looking, he didn't advance himself. But okay, it's the media. Why am I trying to explain the media? It's the mainstream. Why am I explaining them? But okay. He peaked too early, said Andrew Smith, the director of the UNH Survey Center. He became a target. He was relatively unknown, a new fresh face, but some of the things he said after the spotlight was put on him, I think, didn't reflect well. Kind of like Trump, right? Ramaswamy is hardly the only Republican struggling to gain traction in the primary. Former President Donald Trump was 30 percentage points ahead of his closest New Hampshire rival in a recent poll, and he's doing nearly as well in Iowa. But the number Ramaswamy has seen go up is his unfavorability rating. And Iowa caucuses are only 74 days away. But the number Ramaswamy has seen go up is his unfavorability rating, and the Iowa caucuses are only 74 days away. The bloom on the cactus. Maxwell Jenkins, hello. We're going to stop at nothing until we win. And so I think you're going to see that pretty soon. It's going to ramp up. So stay posted, Ramaswamy told reporters on Wednesday, offering few details about what that might entail. The tip of the iceberg is what you've seen so far. And between now and January, I'm fully confident we're going to be successful. This man really thinks that the GOP and Ronna McDaniel are going to show up in Milwaukee and shake his hand and say, "You are our guy." He really thinks this. Okay. I think he's angling for the Secretary of the Interior or Secretary of or he wants to be overlord of the FDA. But okay. The campaign said it will be making a serious investment in Iowa and New Hampshire. Ramaswamy is tied for fifth place at both Iowa and New Hampshire, recent polls show, placing him behind Trump, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Tim Scott or Chris Christie, depending on the state. Now, remember, family, he was polling third back in late summer. He was third. He was beating Nikki Haley. He was beating Tim Scott and Chris Christie. I tell you, Chris Christie, they called him White Lizzo on X. White Lizzo called him Chat GPT, and he has not recovered. God, dog. We like it, though. Ramaswamy was tied with Christie in the newest Des Moines Register, NBC News, Mediacom, Iowa poll, although Christie has all but ignored the Hawkeye State, and Ramaswamy has been there so often that he just began renting an apartment in Des Moines. Are you serious? Please tell me you trolling. New. Vivek Ramaswamy came in at only 4% in this week's Iowa poll, recently rented an apartment in Des Moines, staying there for the second time on his Iowa swing last week. A campaign official tells me to expect to see a shift in resources to the state after next week's debate. He got somebody in there he met. He found some white chick down there and he over there. He needs some place where he could bone her without any with privacy. That was called a joke.
Who cares?
Ramaswamy had 4% of support among likely New Hampshire primary voters and likely GOP Iowa caucus goers in both surveys. His number were even lower, 1% in a recent South Carolina poll, where 2 statewide elected officials are in the presidential race. 60% of Republican South Carolina primary voters say they would not vote for Ramaswamy under any circumstances. Well, no shit. They don't know him. But all right. I've seen this so many times over the years. The new shiny object all of a sudden gets a whole bunch of attention, and then they begin to peel back, or they begin to look at positions on issues, and then they may begin to look at other candidates, said Bruce Burke, a New Hampshire Republican who advised John Kasich in 2016. It's not necessarily anything against Vivek, I'm sorry. It's somewhat the nature of the polling public. Ramaswamy has faced sharp criticism for his foreign policy views, especially after Hamas launched a bloody attack on Israel and as Congress weighs funding for conflicts in Israel and Ukraine. By the way, Congress is talking about giving $14.3 billion to Israel. So there's that. He's also opted recently to tie himself to controversial figures like Alex Jones, who was ordered to pay nearly $1 billion for spreading lies about the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting, and Russell Brand, who has been accused of grape and SA. His stance on foreign policy did land him an endorsement on Wednesday, though. State Representatives Cyril Orris switched allegiances from DeSantis and Ramaswamy and stood beside him after a debate at St. Anselm College to show his support. He reminds me of Trump back in the day, only much better spoken, more intellectual, and doesn't want to keep us in these ongoing wars, or said of Ramaswamy. And it goes on and on and on. Of course, the last line, he's really targeting the Trump constituency, Burke said. And right now, the Trump constituency is sticking with Trump. He don't give a fuck. All right. So there's that. So he about to be up out the paint, and I like it. I will celebrate when he suspends his campaign. I will celebrate. I may make some Bjarni. We'll see how that works. But y'all didn't come here to hear about Vivek. You saw the title. And some of y'all were talking about unsubscribing because I'm doing clickbait. We're not going to do that. Don't do that, family. I love y'all to death. Don't you do that. Huh?
When I see you, nigga, it's gonna be on. I want you to know that.
Listen. I had to give y'all an appetizer. I'm a chef. I done told you this.
Bro, what you on?
Right, we're gonna get to it. Goddamn. Now, the conservative movement. We know about them. They be out here telling us that we're wrong in Chicago. And 13% of the population, 50% of the violent crime. They tell us this all the time. Cameron Jones, good morning. They tell us this all the time. Per capita and all that. But isn't it such a sight, family, when you see them beefing with each other? It's hilarious. Black Star Racer, hello. It is hilarious. We laugh. We cry. We cry out of laughter because it's hilarious. Candace Owens, we know. The Griff Queen. Denise Scales, good morning. The Griff Queen. When she comes outside, the whole world, within 10 minutes, she got damn near 45,000 views. Shout out to her. But an unusual phenomenon has happened over the last few years, family. Every time she puts up a post now, she's been getting destroyed. And we like it. We like it a lot because we told her, come down to the black grassroots, break bread, get off this coon train. You didn't want to do it. Cool. Say less. We're going to do something for you. We're going to laugh at you. And when they come see you, we finna give you our back. Now, this whole Israel Hamas thing, I told y'all, I stand with Black America. See, it says right underneath my name right here. I stand with Black America. I ain't got no dog in that fight unless one of them get crazy and start talking shit or trying to attack the Black community. Then I'm going to go in. But Candace Owens took a stand on Israel and Hamas. Very vaguely, though. And it caught the attention of one of her fellow conservatives, who is Jewish, by the way. This is going to be a fun one. Let's begin. Tabernacle. Candace Owens wrote this yesterday. And it was great. 6 million views. Shout out to her. No government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide, ever. There's no justification for a genocide. I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state. She wrote this. Cool. Everybody's allowed to write on X. We got more people. Kiana G, good morning. Black Women Stand Up, good morning. Abbott Cole, good morning. Cameron Jones, you are out of line. You said Candace Owens will say it's not fair to white people if a Black person wins the lottery. Well, that's her problem. She won the lottery. She got a white man who owned a dead app. Well, wasn't dead at the time, and married him, and now is about to have 3 kids. But later, I'm going to show you why white supremacy does not care about her. But we're going to continue, because this is not what y'all came here for. So she had 5.3 thousand comments, 13,000 reposts, 58,000 likes, 1,100 bookmarks. I mean, impressive for a day's work. Impressive. Not even 24 hours. She got 6 million views. And I think she trended too. So we go down. And they went in. But we're not going to do that. Look at this. The world is in shambles. Why is Candace Owens finally making sense? Jesus. Oh, this is funny. Wait, what is this? They said this is an exclusive. It's a white man talking. White people and exclusives. I can only imagine what this white man said, but let's see. Fair use.
In this office, I get 6 to 8 visits a year by AIPAC, which is a fairly right-wing pro-Israeli group, and J Street, which is a left-leaning pro-Israeli group. I have never had a visit, never once. I've been doing this for 15 years by a pro-Palestinian group. And again, I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just sort of explaining the facts as they appear. And I think, therefore, the path of least resistance for an awful lot of members of Congress is to be reflexive, the way you were concerned about. And the reason I would love to talk more about that is because, you know, the Palestinians have very legitimate claims, and in times and places have been subject to brutal injustice, and yet there is nobody telling their story. Maybe that's happening more in Michigan. Maybe it is. There's a lot larger Palestinian population in Michigan than in Connecticut. But I will tell you, I've been visited by pro-Israeli groups probably 60 to 100 times in my career, and by pro-Palestinian groups 0 times. And that, again, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that probably explains part of, apart from the humanity of it, explains part of what I sense is very frustrating to you.
Okay. Do your thing. Cameron Jones said you're watching from Osaka. Well, have fun in the Kansai. 42 tribes. Good morning. Israel's so brutal, they pushed Demi Door back to the left. Oh, yeah. I would, you know what's family? I would love to play the images and videos that I've seen of what's going on over there, but we know how YouTube is. So I can't. That's okay. Y'all didn't come here for this, though. Y'all didn't come here to hear that white man talk. You came for the fun. So again, she wrote this. Dave Rubin, former leftist who unfortunately got turned by Larry Elder. So we know what kind of stock he's coming from. That's right. Dave Rubin had Larry Elder on his show, and Larry Elder turned him to conservatism. So we already know what time he is on.
That there is a problem.
Larry, get the fuck out of here. Like that's
Fine, whatever. He saw her tweet and chimed in with this. Well, as I'm sure you know, Candace, you should have had a comment after well, but we're not going to do that today. The Palestinian population has 5 times in a few decades, but thank you for taking such a strong stance, taking a strong stand against Hamas's stated genocide of the Jews, which is in their charter. By the way, Dave, history lesson, Israel created Hamas. So by your logic, they basically created their own destruction. If we're going to speak logistically. Kind of like how the U.S. funded Al-Qaeda. And then they did 9/11 with other actors. Yeah. And he puts up this graph of the Palestinian population over the last 50 years. So they were just above, I'm going to say this is 1960. They were just above 1 million. And now in 2023, they're over 5 million, approaching 6. Well, 5.5. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Dave Rubin put this up. He got 2.4 million views. This was 20 minutes after Candace put her thing up. First comment, blue check. Blue check, Mindy Robinson. Surprised she ain't say, my DMs are not open for y'all. I don't want to date, because, you know, this is white women on here do this all the time. She said, are you saying genocide is okay so long as there's a lot of them? Because that sounds like what you're saying. He retorted and said, well, then you're retarded. I thought you're not allowed to say the R word online. Huh. Funny. So it begins. This Michael Colomb. Definition of genocide: any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such. If Israeli officials are committing acts intended to destroy the Gazans, then that's enough to constitute genocide. So it looks like Dave only responded to that one comment. Cool. Candace came back on him. When was that comment? Hold on, let me go back. When did he put this? Okay, so he put this up at 3:01. Candace came back 45 minutes later. They're just so exact with their times, aren't they, family? 45 minutes later. Genocide is always bad. Dave Rubin, why won't you condemn Hamas? Absolutely demented. Wow. Okay. Crazy. There was another comment. I'm trying to find it. There was another comment. Oh, here we go. Damn it. I think I found it. Here it is. So then she said, when was this? Damn it. It doesn't tell the time. Oh, yes, it does. 3:05. So that was before. Yeah, this was before that other comment. So she said, what's amazing about this is that I did not name any country in this tweet. I simply stated that genocide is wrong. Always. This is not a controversial stance. Interesting how you interpreted it. Then he came back to her and said, yes, and I thanked you for your strong stance against Hamas. I salute you. That's when she wrote this. Then he came back and said, I didn't ask you to condemn them. I thanked you for condemning them. And I do again. So I say he's getting cooked. I think that was the last time they spoke. This is hilarious, family. They was friends just about a week ago. And surprisingly, a lot of people were on her side. And surprisingly, a lot of people were not on her side. But then this tweet I saw caught my attention. So it says, so Bill Maher's had Dave Rubin and Candace Owens on his Godless podcast now. He must have fulfilled his quota of benevolent acts and helping the intellectually handicapped for the year now, or the decade. Enough. So I said to myself, I said, hey, what do you mean Candace Owens showed up with Bill Maher? I thought he was a lefty. Why are you speaking to him? I mean, he's knocked you in the past repeatedly. Remember when I said earlier that white supremacy is going to show you how much they don't care about you, Candace? Okay, family, y'all can either go get a bucket or get some tissue or push record on your iPhone, because you're about to see something that I can't. You're about to see a lot of things in this clip that I have that you should say to yourself, okay, I'm not even going to spoil it.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
So as you can see on your screens and listen, that's Bill Maher wearing an ugly ass shirt. That's Candace Owens wearing a white supremacist shirt. Harley Davidson. Fine, she's pregnant. That's probably what fits her. Do your thing. Family, you're about to see that raccoon meme that we like to put on X with the raccoon with the stick. You're about to see it in real time. And I'm going to point out some things that I found very disturbing in this clip. Fair use.
To pretend that whatever brain fart comes out of the mouth of this 5-year-old toddler, yes, is something that we have to take seriously.
Bill Maher trying to save liberalism. I dig it.
This country reminds me of like a medieval European country where a 5-year-old ascends to the throne and inherits it. And so all the courtiers have to pretend that whatever brain fart comes out of the mouth of this 5-year-old toddler, yes, is something that we have to take seriously and treat as valid and debatable. That's what this country is.
That is very accurate. That was a very incredible analogy. Pockets of the country, though, I would say. Pockets, particularly here.
Right.
You don't see that stuff in Tennessee. Like, it's,
well, that's the
yes, ma'am, no, sir. You know what I mean? And they don't play around with that stuff. And that's what I love about this.
And that's why I completely understand why people move to places like Austin and Nashville. To pretend that when
Number one, you say you have an Android phone. Well, you should go get Xcut. That'll help you. Number one, the fact that she went to go see Bill Maher, it's kind of funny, but okay. We got that one out the way. Number two, I get that this is his show. I get it. This might be the set. I get it. Family, the woman is pregnant. Correct? Yes, she's pregnant. This is her third kid. Shout out to her. 3 kids before 35. This conservative way. Bill Maher knew this Why does he have a cigar in his hand? No, I get it. It might not be lit, but you're in a room with a pregnant woman and you have a cigar in your hand. Dollars to donuts, he wouldn't do this he wouldn't do this with a white woman. He would not. I'm just gonna put that out there. He would not do this if this was a white pregnant woman. Now, I may have on the tinfoil kufi, but this screams white supremacy to me. Oh, we know, BB, and good morning. We know. We know. Number 3. Again, I understand this is your set. Why is the alcohol bottle right next to her water? I'm just trying to figure something out. Number 5. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is she doing?
That whatever brain
Sitting
fart,
up here.
whatever
What the fuck was that? I'll play it one more time.
that whatever brain
Sitting
fart,
up here.
whatever brain fart.
What the hell is that? Okay, computer. Oh, you're trying to tell me something now? Okay. I don't know what the hell my computer just did. Oh, are you playing?
Fart comes out of the
Oh, you playing? Oh, my computer trying to, the devil trying to tell me something. All right, Most High, I'll calm down on it a little bit. No, oh, when the Most High was the devil? Yeah, the devil trying to use me. That's them. Huh? What was that? Say less.
the mouth of this 5-year-old toddler, yes, is something that we have
Profound.
to take seriously.
Uh-huh.
Bill Maher, trying to save liberalism. I dig it.
This country reminds me of like a medieval European country where a 5-year-old ascends to the throne and inherits it. And so all the courtiers have to pretend that whatever brain
Sitting
fart,
up here.
whatever brain fart comes out of the mouth of this 5-year-old toddler, yes, is something that we have
Profound.
to take seriously and treat as valid and debatable.
You mean like your show, sir? You mean like your show, sir? You were sitting there humping for Biden for 2 years. Now all of a sudden the country's going to hell and your checks are probably not as big as they used to be. Now you want to act like it was that you were against all this? Okay. I wouldn't be shocked, family, within 6 months, Bill Maher says we may need Trump back. I wouldn't be shocked that he'd say it. But okay. Then I go and I say, all right, let me see what the consensus was with old Candace. I found this. Unfortunately, it's the Blaze, but it says Bill Maher's explanation of what this country is so spot on, even Candace Owens can't help but laugh. Remember how we always tell you white supremacy takes both sides of the argument and they're two wings of the same bird? Since when does the Blaze agree with Bill Maher? BB, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Because if you tell me that, then I'm going to go look for it, and then we're going to piss off the family. I'm looking for it now. Why did you do this? Now you're going to piss me and the family off. I'm finna look for it right now. But she said that shit. The Blaze said this shit. What? See? Bill Maher doesn't always hit the nail on the head, but when he does, it's usually funny. What? Okay. During a recent episode of Club Random with Bill Maher, Candace Owens couldn't help but laugh at Maher's description of what this country is. And that was the clip you heard. She said, "You don't see that stuff in Tennessee. This lying motherfucker. You don't see what? This country reminds me of like a medieval European country where a 5-year-old is sent to the throne and inherits it. And so all the courtiers have to pretend that whatever brain fart that comes out of the mouth of this 5-year-old toddler is something that we have to take seriously and treat as valid and debatable." Candace Owens, you said this wasn't, Tennessee's not like that. Candace Owens, you saw 3 black people basically hold an entire legislature hostage. Candace Owens, in your neighborhood, Green Hills, you had a transgender shoot up a school. Candace Owens, the state you live in, Tennessee, just voted to have lynching as an official punishment. And slavery is still on the books. So please don't talk to us about Tennessee. They just tell on themselves badly. BB, you know you done started something. Why did you do BB went and just she gonna make it. Nah, you ain't gonna make us mad, but I mean, this is crazy. He didn't say that this world was better for being racist. He didn't say that. He actually puts up clips. Do you know when he said it? Tell me when he said it, if you remember. Hey, family, do you want to hear them discuss how sex is boring? I found a clip that they talk about how sex is boring. Oh, Lord. She can't be serious. Them two can't be serious. Why are they Bill Maher? You can't be talking about how sex is boring, sir. His outro monologue last 7 minutes. Okay. Last 7 minutes. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I might have to do this for the family because this is insane. Y'all are talking about sex. All right, we'll do it. Fair use while I go get this monologue. Fair use.
so boring to have sex that they freely think of other people when they're having sex.
Yeah.
I find that to be the worst perversion of all. You're basically masturbating inside another human being who you supposedly love more than anybody else while you're thinking about the checkout girl at Kroger.
An episode of Black Mirror,
What?
or like an episode of Black Mirror was talking about this, like in the potential for tech to meet that moment where people could be wearing goggles and also having,
Right.
and that could happen.
But essentially you are wearing goggles, but it's inside your head.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't get that thing of like, yeah, that's cool. You know, we have sex and, you know, I'm just thinking about anybody but her or him.
Why didn't you get married? That's very much quite unusual.
That's why. I mean, that's the main reason. I cannot accept a life without hot sex.
Did you ever get close?
Yes.
Yeah. How many times?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
And then cold feet on your part?
No, 3 times.
3 times.
Yes, I would say.
You got close.
Yeah, I got close. I mean, I was engaged when I was 29.
Okay.
You know, but I kind of knew even as we were engaged and buying the ring and all that stuff, there was a voice in my back of my head always saying, really? You're just going to fuck this one person forever?
So it was about the sex.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I think that does show that pornography and sex is something that is not a good thing.
You're maybe right.
Yeah.
You may be
It
right.
prevented you from unlocking this thing.
And you're right. That
Black
you
focus,
could be
whole
right.
other side of your life that's so beautiful, wonderful that you never get to. And so I think, and then now you times that by just porn everywhere. Porn when you are just literally walking down the street and you see an ad and you're like, oh,
Right.
I don't know why she has to be naked to sell me this purse, but apparently she has to be naked.
I mean, it's also the case that, you know, not take the sex out of the equation. I mean, is anyone really that interesting that you're the only person you want to spend this much time with? I mean, you know, Annie Mame said
many people. And I said outside of marriage too. I mean, I wish every day, actually today's my grandpa's death anniversary, that he's one person I can speak to every day. I would get rid of 6 friends to only be able to speak to my grandfather as my friend. Yeah, there are people that
I feel dirty. I took a shower this morning and I feel dirty again. I don't know, family. It's just being on a talk show talking about sex and you're not like a sex expert or something. Even in a marriage, I wouldn't go on a show and talk about my sex life or how sex is supposed to feel. It just feels uncomfortable. Then she said she would get rid of 6 of her friends to have a grandfather back. All right, do your thing. I know that man was very instrumental in your life, so do your thing.
are that interesting.
Did he raise you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And to be able to have those conversations with him, like there are people that are just that interesting.
Why didn't your parents raise you?
Well, we lived in my grandparents' house, but my grandfather was the patriarch of the home without question. So he, was set the breakfast and made us breakfast and read the Bible to us and really instilled the values. Even though I did go a very liberal route to conservatism, I thought I was a liberal. I kind of went back to.
What were his politics?
He didn't have any. He was a conservative, but he was not politically inclined. Conservative in terms of met my grandma when he was 17.
So, like, what did he think of John F. Kennedy? He was probably a young man.
See, I wish he was still alive. I wish I was alive. Like talking about him.
Oh, yeah.
Now that we're talking about it, but there are so many people, and especially now as people lack so much depth and so much character, and it's even for me, it's difficult to even find interesting friends. So I get what you're talking about. Do I want to talk to this person forever? No. But my grandfather, people that lived.
What would your grandfather have said about people who say like racism has never been worse?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was kind of the first politically inclined person in my in my family, and it was interesting to kind of see how everyone reacted to it. And my grandfather, I cared very deeply about what my grandfather thought about me. Very deeply. I care very deeply about what my grandfather thinks about me. And he called me up one day, and I happened to have been invited to speak about the rise of white supremacy in front of Congress. And I've ever seen that clip of me.
Mm-hmm.
My granddad
I think I did, yes.
My granddad was sitting behind me. And when I did my opening statement, I said that part of the reason that I'm so compelled to dispel this narrative is because my grandfather grew up with real racism. My grandfather had the real Klansmen shooting inside of his home in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Yeah. He was a boy. And how insulting for me to harness what he lived through. Right. I haven't lived through a day of that in my life.
Right.
Because I want clicks and views and for people to feel bad for me.
How the hell did they go from talking about sex is boring to her grandfather? The tinfoil kufi is on, family. Woman, you're in a marriage with a man and you're carrying his seed right now and gave him 2 others, and you're sitting with Bill Maher talking about sex. I'm sorry, family, but I ain't never watched the Denzel Washington interview where somebody asked him about his sex life. Now, I'm not putting them on the same plateau. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to tell you a story. They know these white media types know who to ask these retarded questions to. Why would she offer this? You're embarrassing your husband by doing this. Son of a bitch. But okay. I think we've had enough.
It's a round. It's a rap for you round. And a rap for your round. I'll let a round rap.
All right, BB, you done started something. BB went and started something. We found the clip. I haven't heard it, but we're going to listen to it together. By the way.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
But it's Bill Maher, so it's okay. Yeah. We're going to hear his closing monologue.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
I think this is the one. I hope. And I saw some of these responses and they love what he said. So we're going to hear what he said. Fair use.
And finally, new rule for all the progressives and academics who refer to Israel as an outpost of Western civilization like it's a bad thing. Please note, Western civilization is what gave the world pretty much every goddamn liberal precept that liberals are supposed to adore. Individual liberty, scientific inquiry, rule of law, religious freedom.
Okay, he already started. Sir, historical context for you. This here that y'all love to bring up, this here, yeah, this was to celebrate the freeing of slaves, not for people who just came here. But I'm sure you knew that. By the way, I like how either they didn't clean her face or they're trying to make the Statue of Liberty in blackface. Again, the Tin Kufi is on, so I apologize in advance.
A scientific inquiry, rule of law, religious freedom, women's rights.
Religious freedom, you say. Religious freedom, you say. All right, we're going to leave that one alone.
Human rights, democracy.
Human rights. How are you 30 seconds in your monologue and already lying? Human rights. Tell Tyree Nichols' family that. Tell Jalen Walker's family that. Tell George Floyd's family that. Breonna Taylor's. We could go down the list. Rayshon Brooks. The young brother down here in Georgia who was found in the gym mats with no organs. The black woman whose body they still haven't found after that sleepover. Yeah, human rights, you said. Human rights. Okay, here we go.
Trial by jury, freedom of speech. Please, somebody's
freedom of speech. Yeah, X will tell you that's a whole lie. White supremacists come after us every day, all day. We defend ourselves. We get limited. All right.
Stop us before we enlighten again. And since one can find all these concepts in today's Israel and virtually nowhere else in the Middle East, if anything, the world would be a better place if it had more Israels. Of course, this message falls on deaf ears to the current crop who reduce everything to being only victims or victimizers. So Israel is lumped in as the toxic fruit of the victimizing West. The irony being that all marginalized people live better today because of Western ideals, not in spite of them.
Hey, how do you think he said? What do y'all think about that one? Shamika Gray, good morning. What did y'all think about what he just said? We're going to play it again.
To being only victims or victimizers. So Israel is lumped in as the toxic fruit of the victimizing West. The irony being that all marginalized people live better today because of Western ideals, not in spite of them.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let y'all legislate that a little bit. I'm looking something up. I'm gonna let y'all legislate that.
Martin Luther King used Henry David Thoreau's essay Civil Disobedience to help shape the civil rights movement.
What?
The UN.
What the hell? Why do y'all keep bringing this man up? Let this man rest. Unless you're gonna play the reparations clip, then it's all right. But goddamn.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
Y'all, is this like the with Israel Hamas? This is like the go. I see what they're doing, family. They're trying to get us to jump into this. We're not jumping into this. Damn it. Fuck.
Universal Declaration of Human Rights owes its core to Rousseau and Voltaire. Cleisthenes never showed up for a sexual harassment seminar. But without him, there's no democracy. The cop who murdered George Floyd got 21 years for violating his Fourth Amendment rights, an idea we got directly from John Locke, who no one in college would ever study anymore because he's so old and so white and so dead.
He finally said something that was actually I can actually agree with. Oh, by the way, Bill Maher, your new best friend Candace didn't like the fact that he got 21 years. He didn't like that. He actually got 22, but okay. She didn't like that. She went on a whole press tour bitching at anybody that'll listen, saying that he shouldn't have got convicted. Oh, and the black conservatives as well, and their white counterparts. But all right.
So Western. Yes, that's how simple the woke are. It's never about ideas. If it
woke, okay,
would they be cheering on Hamas for their liberation? Liberation to do what? More freely preside?
That's not. Oh God, this is not why people are cheering Hamas. Again, family, y'all need to watch how the media is very duplicitous. This is the people are not cheering for Hamas. We've all seen the protests. I've played them on the programs. They are cheering for Palestine because they know Palestine has been subjugated by Israel for decades. They want them to have their own land. They are standing with Palestine because Palestine is, in their view, the victim. But I get it. BLM Chicago, again, because black folks are always on your mind, you think that's the reason why everybody's protesting pro-Palestine. All right, say less.
Over a country where there are no laws against sexual harassment, spousal rape, domestic violence, homophobia, honor killings, or child marriage. This is who liberals think you should stand with. Women there should be so lucky as to get colonized by anybody else. And for the record, the Jews didn't colonize Israel or anywhere ever except maybe Boca Raton.
No, they didn't colonize it. They used the UN to give them land that was not theirs. And not only gave them land that was not theirs at the time, gave them the majority of the land. Well, damn.
Gaza wasn't seized by Israel like India or Kenya was by the British Empire, and the partitioning of the region wasn't decided by Jews, but by a vote of the United Nations.
Why, Bill? Go into that. Educate that fine California crowd. Why did they do it? But okay.
1947, with everyone from Russia to Haiti voting for it. But apparently they don't teach this at Drag Queen Story Hour anymore. Now, it is true that for too long, we didn't study enough Asian or African or Latin American history. But part of the reason for that is, frankly, there's not as much to study. Colleges replaced courses in Western.
What the fuck? No, he did not just say that. Let me go back. I might have heard it wrong. I got the big look, family. Hang on. I got these on. I know they old as hell. So sometimes the thing may not register sound. But I know he didn't just say what I think he just said. I'm finna play it again. I might not have heard something.
Now, it is true that for too long, we didn't study enough Asian or African or Latin American history. But part of the reason for that is, frankly, there's not as much to study. Colleges replace.
Is this
Come on now, dog. Come on, man. Now you
Gonna equal up to this real shit.
targeted a
brother,
child.
you got to get off the crack pipe, man, please.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
He didn't just say that. There ain't enough African and Asian history. Is he serious? He's not. He didn't just say this, did he? He didn't just say this. Bill Maher. African history basically is the foundation of this earth. What are you talking about? Bill Maher. Grenades came from Asia, sir. What are you? Is he? Sir, you can go see Asian history right now in China with the Great Wall. That's over 5,000 years old. You can go to Egypt and look at those pyramids that are technically grave sites. Those are been built in the BC era. This man did not just say what he just said. I hate this man. Oh God. Hey, 42 tribes. Remember, Candace Owens said years ago that she's cool with globalism. I'm finna go find that clip too. You're gonna like that one. BB, you done started something. Give me your Cash App. I'm finna give you some money. I appreciate you finding this. I don't watch this man's show. Give me that. And make sure y'all hit the like. Please. I need this sent out. Lehman Lucas, good morning. I can't believe he said that. Tia to you, good morning. I can't believe he just said that. Dana, one more time, family, so you know I ain't tripping.
Now, it is true that for too long, we didn't study enough Asian or African or Latin American history. But part of the reason for that is, frankly, there's not as much to study.
There's not as much to study. Africans gave the whole world math, sir. Without math, there's no concept of the clock. Without math, there's no concept of computers. Without math, there's no concept of a car. There's no concept of engineering. There's no concept of astronomy. There's no concept of chemistry. Without math, you guys would just be mixing shit all day thinking you're helping people and you'd be killing them. What? He's not serious. Without math, there's no conservatism. I'm going to go out and say it. I can't believe he just said this. There ain't enough African, Asian, or Latin American history. One more time, just so y'all don't think I'm tripping.
Now, it is true that for too long, we didn't study enough Asian or African or Latin American history. But part of the reason for that is, frankly, there's not as much to study. Colleges replaced courses in Western Civ. Boo! Eye roll, dead white men, am I right? They replaced that with world civilization classes, which is fine in theory, but what it meant in practice is you read queer poetry of the African diaspora instead of Shakespeare.
Hey, dumbass, we were in high school before all this shit happened. We had something called world history and U.S. history. Now, granted, they didn't teach much about Africa, but that was for Black History Month and the contributions of the ancestors who were here. But y'all wanted to get rid of it, saying it was too woke, which is why we're teaching the family about everything. And you and your ilk are teaching what you want to teach, which is limited history, and then you're getting owned online every time you try to say something. But all right.
And I'm sure there's value in both. But as usual, America only ever overcorrects. And so we're at this place now where the words Western Civ became kind of a shorthand for white people ruined everything.
But I would buy that book. Because we all saw, who remembers recently when that usher, when he was on that that tiny table, and we had that meme. He's like, watch this. Yeah. White people went and ruined it. We don't even use it anymore. The New York State governor went and ruined it. Marianne Wilson went and ruined it. We could have had endless hours of entertainment. And they came in 2-3 deep and ruined it. They ruined the hood. Family, real quick, can you imagine somewhere like Bed-Stuy or Crown Heights in New York or Cicero in Chicago or Watson Compton in LA or Bankhead down here in Atlanta that was still all Black? But with the advantages of gentrification, like they actually invested in our communities and we were controlling that shit, they would be paradise on earth. It would look just like Black Wall Street. Dare I say, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't care. Especially me coming from New York City. The areas and neighborhoods they gentrified and white people moved in ruined it. There's no soul there. Williamsburg, no soul. Bed-Stuy, it's like yin and yang. But the yang is taking over. Well, the yin is taking over. The yin is white. No soul. Crown Heights, it don't feel like Crown Heights no more. Jamaica, Queens, they gentrified the hell out of that. It's not even, it don't even feel like it no more. Far Rockaway, done. All of my Italians and white folk went down to Rockaway right after Sandy. Now, great. Granted, they got restaurants and attractions over there. That's great. That's good for the Queens economy. It don't feel like Rockaway no more. They're about to gentrify the Bronx. It ain't gonna feel like the Bronx no more. Harlem is, we know about Harlem. They ruined everything. The only borough that feel like what it is Staten Island. All right, Bill Maher. Continue. Do your thing.
But they didn't ruin everything. No, they didn't live up to their own ideals for far too long and committed atrocities, but people back then were all atrocious. Not just the white ones, depending on who had the power. But it
Right. Yes, everybody was atrocious. But who were the overlords of atrociousness? The British Navy, the French Army, Napoleon, Jacques Cousteau, Captain Ahab. Captain Ahab couldn't leave that motherfucker Moby Dick alone. Oh my God. The Germans couldn't leave the Russians alone. The Byzantine Empire had to go meddle everywhere. The Roman Empire had to go meddle everywhere. The Ottoman Empire had to go meddle everywhere. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Christopher Columbus. John Smith. We'll go recent because you're going to get mad at me. Jim Jones. We could go on, Bill Maher, but yeah. Our bodies don't have your bodies, but okay. I mean, y'all started a whole damn plague that wiped out half of Europe, but we're not going to go there today.
It was the Western Enlightenment that gave rise to the notion that the law of the jungle should be curbed. Henry David
The law of the jungle.
Thoreau, John Stuart Mill, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Jean-Jacques Rousseau.
Those are some ugly white men.
Oh, three named dudes. It was all about three named dudes. Three named dudes like that were the OG social justice warriors. The ideas that came through Athens, Rome, London, Paris, and yes, Philadelphia, are what make life good for most people in free societies today. That the individuals have value, and even the powers that be must submit to the rule of law.
How do the individuals have power, sir? How? Explain this to us. Explain this to us, because when we show our individualism, you try to box us off. You have labels for every individual in this country. You won't just let an individual be an individual. Who brought social constructs to the Western society? It's Saturday. I don't want to hit y'all with too much heavy thinking.
Punishment should not be cruel and unusual. That the accused people get a trial. That there is such a thing as a war crime. Why is it that every other culture gets a pass, but the West is exclusively the sum of the worst things it's ever done?
Because we have history books. Y'all laud your crimes. Are you sick? Family, do you know how many books are out because of over the 2008 financial crisis? Do you know how many books are on Bush's occupation into Iraq and Afghanistan in the mid 2000s? You know how many books white people wrote on Obama? How many books were published over Watergate? The books written on Whitewater? How many books were written on Reagan? Come on, man. Y'all love talking about your crimes. Hell, Steven Tyler wrote in a book what he did, and he ain't been prosecuted.
You think only white people colonized? Historians estimate that the very non-Western Mr. Genghis Khan killed 40 million people, and that was in the 13th century. He single-handedly may have reduced the world's population by 11%. On the other hand, he kind of made up for it because he was such a prolific colonizer of vaginas that today an estimated 16 million people are his direct descendants. So stop saying Western civilization like it's a contradiction in terms. It's not. You're thinking of moderate Republican.
It seems like it's true, Cameron. Bruh. DSB, thank you for the $2. Did he hit his head before this interview? No, he talked to Candace Owens a week before. You asked. No, Genghis Khan was in the BC era. But you asked if that was true. You asked if that was true. Valid question.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
I found this. Now, I don't know how true it is, but we're going to look at it. In terms of sheer influence, Genghis Khan had the most successful love life in human history. Genghis Khan's sex life was extensive as his Mongol empire. The Mongol leader took full advantage of his position and left a vast genetic legacy. As the Mongols moved through the steppe regions of Central Asia to the east and west, riding their magnificent war horses along the Silk Road, Genghis Khan used military and administrative tactics and his sexual prowess to leave his mark. Sex for Genghis Khan was much as a tool of power as a right of conquest, and he used it to his advantage during the 13th century. Genghis Khan's children, grandchildren, and beyond carried on the great conqueror's DNA as well as Mongol traditions. Genghis Khan slept with other men. Well, there it is. There it is. He slept with other men. So he was the original booty warrior. Genghis Khan slept with his best friend Jamuka when he was a young man. While they shared a blanket, there's no indication anything sexual took place. So why would you say maybe it just meant sleep together? Okay. Temujin, Genghis Khan's given name, was a less powerful leader at the time, eventually left Jamuka's clan because he didn't trust him. When Temujin left, many of Jamuka's followers went with him, contributing to Temujin's growing prestige and authority. Jamuka, once considered by Temujin to be a brother, became one of Genghis Khan's biggest rivals and was executed by his former friend. Legend has it that Genghis Khan broke his friend's back to prevent his blood from being spilled. All right, so he pulled a Bane. All right. Each time he defeated a rival tribe, he took a wife, but not always for himself. Genghis Khan had 4 wives who were considered more important than the others, but he took a woman from each tribe he conquered as his own. When he conquered the Tangle, he got a wife named Chaka, the daughter of the clan leader. When he threatened the Jin dynasty in China, they offered him one of the emperor's daughters along with other riches. Genghis Khan kept some of the women given to him, but married off others to his comrades and subordinates. He used women as tools of diplomacy between clan groups and negotiated the marriages of his own children to keep the peace. Genghis Khan is related to 8% of the men living in the former Mongol Empire. His oldest son may have not been his, but he was okay with it. Okay. We mean a shadow banning. I mean, I still got a strike on my channel. It should be up in 13 days. So, I mean, it is what it is. I've been dealing with this for a year, so it's okay. We'll see how it looks on November 17th. We'll see how it looks. Continuing. Okay. He took princesses and the most beautiful women he could find as his own. Genghis Khan had numerous wives, but only one was the primary spouse. Genghis Khan found wives for his sons. Genghis Khan married a set of Tatar sisters. He outlawed adultery, but continued to have multiple wives. Well, there you go. He may have passed away after a woman cut off his penis. Allegedly. She inserted a contraption into her vagina that removed his genitals, ending his life. Okay. Well, there's that. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. But yeah, family, there you go. We just went down the road with this Candace Owens, Dave Rubin thing. Bill Maher made a guest appearance. Yeah. Crazy. I guess some comments are not displayed in the chat. Really? Y'all probably, you know what it is? Y'all probably said something that it got targeted. Let me go look. Sometimes YouTube like to target certain words. Let me see. Bear with me for 1 second. Let me see. Because I see your comment here on the StreamYard. I don't see anything. And I have enough mods in there anyway. So if something if something didn't get through, I don't know. On the live chat, it shows everything. All right. Well, like I said, I'm part of New Black Media, and you know they shadow ban us. So let's see. Yeah, I was just looking also up the latest on this Candace Owens thing with Dave Rubin. So this is the latest. This was one of the most painful. What is this? This is one of the most painful things I've ever written, but these are things that have to be said. We can no longer consider Jews who align themselves with the murderers of Jewish babies part of the Jewish people. My latest Jerusalem Post. Uh-oh. 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 It's starting. Uh-oh.
Yo, fuck nuts.
Uh-oh. I ain't gonna say it here. It might be starting, family. Somebody said, dude literally just said they ain't Jewish. Somebody said Dave Rubin got salty after Candace Owens stated that genocide is bad. Dave is really unhinged. He justified that if they have a population of 5 million people, it is okay to delete them. Well, damn. I guess that's how you interpret it. Candace Owens finally seen Dave Rubin for exactly who he is. I mean, he worked with the Young Turks. I mean, what did you and what was it? Was it Cedar in them? No, I think it was Young Turks, and then he fell out with him. Just like Tim Pool. Well, crap, leave it to David Rubin to make Candace Owens look reasonable. Yeah, Joe Biden said we ain't black, and they still voted for him. So there's that. They're going to have to contend with that for the rest of their lives. I used to like Bill Maher because he was the only out atheist I saw on TV. That time's over. He's full on Dave Rubin now. I haven't liked him in years now. Excuse me. But watching him okey doke with Candace Owens makes me want to retch. He's become Joe Rogan for remedial readers. I love Candace Owens, but Dave Rubin hit her with facts. How the hell do you hit her with facts? How do you hit her with facts? Well, damn. Stick to football, you genocidal Z apologists. How did he hit her with facts? He put up a graph about the population in Palestine. And I bet if you look at the numbers tomorrow, I mean, not tomorrow, next year, it ain't going to be that. It ain't going to be upward. Candace Owens being correct on this one issue means two things: how far Israel has gone, how dumb Dave Rubin is. Wow, the Dave Rubin, Candace Owens Twitter feud. Fire. Okay. Now that somebody's calling somebody a pick me. Jesus. All right, family. There's that. I think we're done. They're going in. Shabazz, American Freeman. Hello, you seem new, but welcome. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what we're gonna say. I can't say it here, but yeah, that what I was alluding to. We just gonna say race versus religion. We'll just say it like that. But anyway, family, I gotta get ready to go plantation, but I gotta go cook first for the family. I appreciate y'all coming through. Hopefully you learned something. If I did, thank you. I've done my job. If not, I will try to do better next time. I will see y'all Monday. I'm going to give y'all a break on Sunday. Unless something happens. But more than likely, I'll give y'all a break tomorrow. Monday will be, I still don't know what I'm going to talk about Monday yet, but we'll, I'm sure it'll come to me. Oh, no, I know what I'm going to talk about. We're going to go in on that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to have to go cook fellow Hollis, Queens native LL Cool J. I'm going to have to cook him. And I like LL, but I'm going to have to cook him. Because he says something egregious. I might even do it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how it. If you see something pop up that I'm going to go live, just make sure you like it and share it out. I might have to cook LL. Because he says something in there very egregious. And I don't like that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your day.